Yes, guys, welcome. It is game day. And yes, this is your predicted lineup before we play Sunderland today at 3 o'clock at the greatest stadium of them all, White Hart Lane. Of course, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but always White Hart Lane to me. And we are playing the team from the North East. We are playing Sunderland. Not an easy game. Yes, Tottenham have not been on a great run. We had the Ball Fest as of Monday with Brentford. But joining me during this predicted lineup, giving his words of wisdom, a man that spent many years with in the gantry with Jimmy Hill and John Motson, learning the crafts of the game. Didn't play the game professionally himself, but played it on Football Manager, where he is a 15-time Premier League champion manager. He won everything in the game on Football Manager, but not professionally. But he is our mate, your mate, and a mate of mine. It is Rain. Rain, how are you, bud? Look, you are going to the game today. We're doing this early before you head off to White Hart Lane. Looking forward to it, bud? Can't hear you. He's that excited. He's muted himself.
Can you imagine learning football analysis from Motson and Jim and Hill? My word. Yeah.
What did you have?
Kings of football commentary and knowledge. For people who don't know, get to know that these guys were elite. You know,
well, we had John Motson, Barry Davis. He was a Spurs fan, Barry Davis, by the way.
Today's commentators don't even shine a light to these guys. Where was it? You've sold me short. Back in my day, I took the great Tottenham Hotspur. Firstly, I started playing Championship Manager. That's how old I am.
Yeah.
Before it became Football Manager, and Championship Manager 4 is still the peak of football management sims. And I took at one point I took the mighty Tottenham Hotspur on a 20 Premier League winning streak.
Wow.
And I did that purely because somebody told me that if you won it 20 times in a row, aliens landed and you actually got like alien players. Well, that was a troll. That wasn't real. But this is probably a name that you won't remember because he never actually became a good player for us. One of my best players in that game was a guy called Mark Gower. He was my central midfielder, and he was my central midfielder for about 15 years. He was a Spurs Academy kid who never made it for Tottenham Hotspur. I'm not even sure he made a Premier League. I'm not even sure he made a Premier League start. But he was, I trained him up and he was outstanding for me. I'll never forget it. Mark Gower. Gower. He was brilliant. He was like, he just had 20s. His stats were just like 20s and a couple of 19s. He was absolutely amazing.
Well, he did have a career. He did made it. He had 90 appearances for Barnet, 203 appearances for Southend between 2003 and 2008, made 129 appearances for Swansea, then had loan spells at Charlton Athletic, and then he signed for Charlton for the 2013-14. He made 446 appearances and scored 54 goals in his career. England international, he played in England C, 4 caps, and then his honours. He won the Football League 1, 2005-2006, won the Football League 2 playoffs in 2005, and he was the Football League runner-up in 2003-2004, and then 2004-2005, and he won the Football League Championship player for Swansea in 2011. So he went on to have a very good career, actually. He did play, he made Swansea, he made 20 appearances in the Premier League in 2011-2012, and then he made one his last season, 2012-2013. So yeah, he rarely had. He started at Spurs, but dipped into the Conference National League with Barnet, then many years at Southend United, and then with Swansea. So a player that went on to have a bit of good career. The name did ring a bell, but look, let's crack on. We're not talking about Mark Gower, how good he probably would have been and could have been and was, but better he could have been. We want to talk about Tottenham Hotspur. And I don't know why the screen has done that, but that's sorted that out. This is the team news for Spurs. Bergville remains a doubt for Sunderland. Also, no specific date on Solanke returns. I do have a date for his Solanke return. Just let me check the calendar. July 3rd, 2026. It's a Friday. That's when he will return. So, yeah, that's apparently the Tottenham Hotspur date where he might actually get a game. For North team news for the Northeast, Sunderland side. Sunderland like to be without 7 players when they make the trip to North London, and Dan Ballard is a doubt as well.
And he's been a really good player for them. So
he has been a very good player this
Yeah.
season. So he may or may not stay. We do have an injured list as long as my arm. We've got Manderson out with the ACL, Kulu out with the ACL, your doggy's out with the hamstring, Solanke's out forever with this ankle. Bergville, of course, is a doubt. We do have Xavi Simmons out for suspension, Basuma at AFCON, and Sarr also at AFCON as well. And guys, this is the predicted lineup for tomorrow's game against Sunderland. We're starting with Vicario in goal. We're going to back 4 of Spence, Romero, Mickey van der Ven, and Pedro Porro. We're going for a midfield 3, not a defensive midfield. This is a straight 2-8 midfielders and a number 10 in Palunio, Gray, and Kudos. And then the front tree of Mateus Tel, Colo, and Odebear. Look, very quickly on this, Rain, the back sort of 5 picks itself, doesn't it, really? It's the midfield. Are you happy with that midfield? Are you happy that I sort of went with a way of not playing with the double pivot, not playing with the number 6? We play with 2 central midfielders and a number 10. Do you think that's what he's got to do tomorrow? Be more attacking?
I mean, I'd love us to go back to how we used to play under Poch, where we used to have a solid ball-playing defensive midfielder, an 8 who could progress the ball, and a 10 who was the fulcrum of the team but could score some goals. So, a friend of the channel, David Clark, has been saying that, Kudus should play up top or should play 10, and I think he should. I think we need to move him to 10 whilst we don't have Madison, Kulu. Simmons is still out. He's got to be back soon though, Simmons. So this has got to be his last game, I think. And
it is.
But I think moving Kudus centrally will help, because at the moment he's being triple teamed. So I love this, but what I want to see is some positional discipline from Gray to play in an 8 so that we need to get to the place where the whole team knows where the rest of the team is probably going to be. Where at the moment we're too chaotic, where we've got our left winger coming far too far inside. We've got our fullback cutting in, not staying wide, and nobody really knows where they are. This is not the way that a coherent team works. So I love this team, but it needs them to be positionally disciplined and show some quality.
Look, for me, I went with that in mind, Rain. I went with that. I didn't go with the Poch idea, but I went with the mind that you've got Paluna can sit as a 6, Ray can play as an 8, and you give Kudos the freedom, a little bit for a free role, to do what he wants. He can move anywhere. Now, I know we haven't got a right player, and we did sell Brendan Johnson. I think we need to rectify that very quickly within the transfer market. As we know, as the time of doing this video, that Tottenham are in advanced talks with West Ham for Paquetá. 26 million we know is the offer at the moment on the table. So we know that. So that breaks between now and this going out and the watch along starting. Of course, I'll come straight on, guys, and give you all the latest news. But if you got Kudos on the right, you've got Paquetá probably on the left, play Xavi in the middle, or you play Xavi on the left, play Paquetá in that midfield 10 role, and you've got Colo up front. I think that's a very mouth-watering attacking lineup. I really do. I just want us to be a bit more attacking minded. We're at home. Let's go for it. Look, if we lose, I don't mind Tottenham lose. Look, I'm upset when we lose, but if we play really well and give it 110%, I think you're still angry, but not as angry. But if you're watching what we watched on Saturday, and this is the problem I have with Thomas Frank, he's not adventurous with his lineups, especially when he has a chance to be. And I know he said in the press conference, ask, are you daring? And are you daring? Well, I'm daring enough. Well, you're not daring. This is being daring. This is saying, right, I'm going to go for it. So with the striker as well, do you start Richie, who's been in good form, or do you start Colo tomorrow? I went with Colo ahead of Richie, but there is also on the front tree range that you could play Richarlison on the left or play Colo up front, but he has been playing Colo on the left, which for me does not work. He's not a winger. He's a striker, for Christ's sake.
I like this team. I think the Brentford game was a perfect example of Richarlison's limitations. So he looked decent against Brentford because he got on the end of the ball, because the ball got into the Brentford. Sorry, when we played Brentford at home.
Yeah.
The Sunderland are going to make this difficult,
Mm-hmm.
and Richarlison is not the striker for that type of game, in my opinion. He's probably going to play and score a hat trick. But
Yeah.
you know, saying all that, but I think Richarlison's just limited. I personally wouldn't be unhappy if he's moved. If he's moved on and finds finishes the rest of his career somewhere else. Obviously, he's still here and he'll still give us good minutes and he'll probably still give us really good moments. But tomorrow is going to be a battle, and
It is.
we need a player like Mawani, like you've got here, who we can play the ball to and it's going to stick. With Richarlison, the ball doesn't stick. It bounces around or he goes to ground, and that's not going to help tomorrow. That's not going to help against Sunderland. We really need somebody who's going to help us hold the ball. The other thing that I would say is we need our players to be brave. We need them to be, during the pre-match build-up, people were talking about passion. I think we need to be passion, yes, but we also need to be positionally brave. So if Tell's playing left wing, play left wing. Don't come back and start playing left back. Stay up. Stay in your position, because if you don't stay in your position, people can't pass to you and we can't go forwards.
Exactly.
Be brave. Be brave. And have some attacking intent. Again, Gray, his pass map against Brentford, against the Brentford game we've just had, was horrendous for when he was playing 10. He was all over the pitch. Be brave. Be a 10. Be there. Trust your teammates. Don't come back into defence. Yeah, don't do that. Just
be daring.
Be exactly. Get
Today
ready.
Was to do.
Be ready to collect the ball and do your job, which is getting the ball into the box. And Mawani, do your job, which is collecting the ball, getting stick, and putting the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think, look, very quickly tomorrow, Romero, I think it needs to be a lot calmer. I did say for the Palace game that I thought when Danso was in there with Mickey van der Ven, I thought that the defense looked more calm than it did against Brentford. It looked a bit more erratic when Romero's in there. I know he's our club captain. I know he's a World Cup winner. I know he's a good player, but I just thought it looked a bit more calm. But that's just my opinion. Not everyone agrees with that. There is a few players tomorrow that are on one game away from suspension. I think it ends tomorrow, the end of January. But I know Mickey van der Ven is on the yellow card. He could get a one-match ban. Richarlison's another. Porro's another as well. So, look, Score prediction. What are you going for?
I mean, if I was putting money on it, I would go 0-0.
Yeah.
I obviously I'm there, so I'm hoping
You're
3-0
hoping for goals
Tottenham.
galore.
I'm hoping a 3-0 Tottenham. We're going to see some goals. Hopefully in the first half, because we always kick towards my goal in the first half. So hopefully in the first half, we'll see three Tottenham goals. But I think that Sunderland are going to try to shut us down tomorrow.
Yeah. Look, I'm going for a 4-0 Spurs win. Always have been. Would never ever back my team to lose and get a clean sheet, a third in a row as well. People seem to forget we've got 2 clean sheets in a row in the last 2 games. They've been that bad. We seem to have forgot that point. But guys, that is it. Do hit a like, do hit subscribe if you can. We are back later, of course, at 2:45 with the watch along, 5:05 with After the Whistle. I'm on at We Are Tottenham TV at 1:30. So join me there before we start the watch along, guys. But that is it. Me and Rain are going to bounce out of here. He's off now to get to the game. I'm off to get ready for We Are Tottenham TV. Whatever you do, enjoy the stream. Join me later at 2:45. Join the best watch along in town with me, Dermot, aka Dermatron. As Spurs go and spank Sunderland all the way back up to the northeast with 3 points in our pocket. Happy Spurs fans. Head on to the Villa, and Spurs are definitely on their way to Wembley. Come on, you Spurs. Don't be boring, Thomas Frank. Be daring. To dare is to do. That is our motto. Get in tune with it. Come on, you Spurs.